All right, yo, what's going on, everybody? Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. It is 3:02 here in New Vienna, Iowa. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is 10/10/20, October 10th, 2020. It's an auspicious day, I guess. I think, maybe. I'm not sure. But so glad to see you guys here. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in New Vienna, Iowa. Temperatures are in the mid 70s. And I've just been absolutely enjoying the weather. Let's see who else is here today. We've got Ivan Drago is here saying, well, CV76 says Ivan Drago is here saying Voston al Vlenye, which is Russian for recovery, which is the word of the day. Let's go with the word of the day sound. Good work, Stevie. Steve says, evening, Stevie took a day off running for some rest and relaxation, not recovery, relaxation to help recuperate. Long of SL20. I think Steve still wants SL20 as the word of the day. That's totally cool. David Prabhu is here. What's going on, David? Chris Yao is here as well. Supposed to run today, but instead took some extra. Oh, cool. Is that a word? Is that exact? I think that is that more like relaxation or like vacation? Not. I don't know, but it's pretty close. I'm not going to call it recovery, though. It's pretty close. JC says, hey, long run tomorrow. Who's with me? I did my longer run today, and so I won't be doing it, but I will be out there running. My knee has been doing pretty good, so I'm feeling good about it. In that regard, I feel like some glute activation stuff has been really clicking with me lately, and I've been feeling really good about it. But here's the weird side effect. So I've watched like pretty much almost every glute activation video on the internet. And there was two that I watched yesterday that really clicked. One was, I don't remember who it was. And he talked about IT band syndrome and the glute medialis. And I don't think I have IT band syndrome, but like I've been thinking that I have some sort of tendonitis, patellar tendonitis, either patellar tibia or patellar femoral. I'm not sure. But I was just watching this IT band syndrome video, and he was talking about the glute meds and talking about some exercises you could do. So I started doing some of that just in case. And also I've been thinking about glute activation. And then also I watched Hella Good's video about glute activation, where he didn't really show anything or explain anything that was different than what I'd already heard. But for some reason, like his idea that like, you know, if you're not feeling like your glutes are activated, just sprint, just do a really quick sprint for a couple seconds. And for whatever reason, that like those two videos combined, plus all the other videos combined, clicked in a way that over the last 2 days this has happened to me, where I felt like my hip was sore, and I was worried that I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've been running on a bad knee for so long that now my hip is messed up. But today, after thinking about all these new glute videos that I'd watched, I think what's going on is I'm finally using my right glute, and my right glute is tired. And so like what I thought was maybe like a hip problem a couple of days ago is actually just my glutes being used in a way that they haven't been used before. Well, the reason why I was familiar is I have an exercise band. I'm trying to think. It's not in here. And I do like the monster walk where you kind of like walk a little bit like that, and then you come back and do that and under tension. And so I did that, and that was like the same feeling that I got on my run today. So I feel like that also made my knee feel better, but I also definitely felt like that glute muscle is being strained. And so I feel like that was good. So I had a little bit of a longer run today. It worked out well. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to go back out again, not for a long run, but a nice recovery run. So that's what I got on the agenda for tomorrow. Ed Butt is here, giving a little fist bump. What's going on, Ed? Good to see you here. Patrick Fung says, yo, it's been a while since able to attend a live one. Hope everyone's doing well. Good to see you, Patrick. Love the Bitmoji that you got there. Looks good. Steve said, how far did I go? I went, well, the total run was probably like 11-something miles. But here's what happened. I did 10.15, and then I stretched out my glutes. Because at that point, they were like getting real tight. I wanted to get to at least 10 for today, because then that gets me to 100 miles in the ultra superior. So I wanted to get to the hundo and then I stretch out my glute, and then I was able to run the rest of the way back. Like after I kind of like just let that muscle relax for a minute. So I feel like, ooh, I'm onto something. The glutes are being activated. It's working. So I feel like, I mean, my knee still was like bothering me a little bit by the end, but I feel like, okay, all these things are starting to fall into place. The leg mobility work that I've been doing, strengthening some of those ancillary muscles that I've been ignoring, all this stuff's like, it's coming together. I feel good about it. So I'm feeling good. All right. Let's see. What else we got here? A lot of people saying hi to Ed Bud. Everybody loves Ed Bud. Oh, Ed Bud trying to have some problems getting the baby to fall asleep. Yeah. I remember for a long time when we had, when my wife and I had newborns, we would love it when the baby would fall asleep. And a frequent theme that I would post on like Facebook and stuff back when I used Facebook was like, thank goodness for sleeping babies. I just love sleeping babies. Ed But says, where's the switch to activate these bits? Yeah, there isn't a switch. So here's the two things that I did. There was a video. I'll go find that video and I'll post a link to the description afterwards to the video that I watched that I felt like was really helpful in like helping me like feel what it feels like to activate that glute medialis. But the other thing that I've been doing was to try and like reach back as I push off with my foot strike. So that's kind of like something that, and lean forward. So lean forward a little bit and push back with my foot strike. That was like two things that I kind of changed a little. And I feel like that was subtle change. It wasn't like a huge thing. That subtle change where I felt like I was pushing more off like this way, that got me to, I feel like, activate those glutes or like incorporate and like just recruit those muscles as part of the foot strike and the gait cycle. That I think was helping. So I don't know if that's just it happened to work today or if it's something that's going to work again tomorrow. I'm going to keep going on it. We'll try it again tomorrow. So we'll see. Let's see what else we go. Martha says, Kofuzi, be sure to do that stretch for your piriformis now that you glutes steel on your back. Pull bent leg across the midline, then pull that foot towards your shoulder so you feel the stretch. Yeah, I yesterday I was concerned because it happened to me yesterday too, and I was like, ooh, is my hip hurting? Did I stretch something and all of a sudden now I got a tendon out of alignment? I was worried about that because I was like, I've never felt this feeling during running before. So I did a lot of like hip stretching. I've been doing a lot of just deep squats, kind of just like sitting in what I would call in a little bit of Konglish, like Korean English, like dong position, which is like in Korea, there's still a lot of basically like outhouse type things, or well, there was the last time I was there, which was more than like almost like 30 years ago at this point. But the way you squat when you're going to poop in a hole in the ground kind of thing. And that deep squat, is something that I've been working on too. So I've been working on that just to make sure like the ankles are mobile, the hip joint is mobile, and I've been doing a lot of hip stretching too. So it's really good advice, but I want to make sure that like I'm stretching that muscle, getting it limber, but also like making sure it's awake and activated. But I feel like I've crossed like the hurdle. I'm there. I'm hopefully now it's just all downhill running, so to speak. MC 1796 says, went for my first run in the Zoom Streak 7 today. Pretty solid shoe for my tempo effort. I'm a big fan of the Zoom Streak 7. It's got that Phylon midsole foam in it, and it's just super bouncy. It's like when you get like a really good swing on like a racquetball and it like pings, that's the feeling that I feel like I'm getting it. All right. JC says, a lot of people are going on their long runs for Sunday. He says, good to see so many on board for the Sunday long run. Thinking 18 or so miles myself. Awesome. I look forward to when I can get back to 18 miles on a long run. I hope it'll be soon. Jeff Elliott's here, said, I made it. And he says, sleeping babies are great. They are, aren't they? They are so much. All right. Chris Yao says the dong position is cornfield position for us gringos. It's the same. It's one and the same for sure. Very cool. So today it was a really nice day. I took the girls out to a new park, and at the new park, they had to like do quite a bit of like scrambling. So I thought it was going to be like a hike, like a trail hike, but it ended up being like a little bit like it was like 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes of trail hike. It got steep really quick. And then it was a mountain spring. So we got to the top where the mountain spring was, but then if you kept going, like everything around here is limestone. So there's basically like limestone, like valley between these two hills that we just started like ambling up. And so we did that for a long time. So that was fun. So we did that. And I'm hoping the girls are tired from that. But we did that. And I actually brought the other camera, the Sony a6100. And I tried to vlog with that camera, even though it's not stabilized. But the lens that I have on it is stabilized. So that's going to come up soon. I think that'll probably be Monday's video. So we had a lot of fun with that. I think that'll be a fun video to have or to watch. And it was a good time. It was good. Then we came back, and then my brother-in-law, the one that had like all the roof damage down in the Cedar Rapids area, he and his daughter and his girlfriend came up, and they were all hanging out. So we were all hanging out doing a very socially distant kind of like outside time. But it's a beautiful day for it. So it worked out pretty good. So it's been a really good day for me. Hopefully you guys are doing well and having fun as well today. Because it's just, it's a nice day. Oh, I also got pulled over by a state trooper today. So he thought I was going fast. But like the troopers are out because it's a beautiful day. And everyone's out doing outdoor stuff. This morning for my run, I went over to New Wine, and there's a campground over there. The campground was full, so everyone's out like doing their thing. But the trooper was out. He pulled me over. He gave me a warning, so that was really nice. Very generous. Yeah, it was. I don't think it was a driving while Asian thing. Here's the thing. I think though, the only 2 times that I've been pulled over in Iowa are when I wear a backwards hat. So like I actually had my hat on while backwards, and it's not 100% of the time. It's not like every time I wear a backwards hat I get pulled over. But the only 2 times I've been pulled over, I happen to have a hat on backwards. And then like the trooper like pulled up, and he saw like all of us putting like our masks on real quick, like even the 2 girls in the back, and he's like, "Oh, all right. How's your driving record?" I'm like, "Oh, I think it's pretty good, sir. Here's the license and registration. Here's my license. The registration, it's my father-in-law's car. So it's under their name. But, so yeah. Danny J says, you just look suspicious. That's why you fit the description. Maybe it was the mustache. I was looking extra menacing today. I don't know. I just think that, I was like, because he drove like by me like this. So I'm like, do they have technology to like, I'm like, he didn't show me a radar gun or anything. So I was just like, I was like, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to be going fast. I apologize. So, Chris says, State Trooper says, we need to take a DNA sample. There are complaints of a serial cornfield pooper. Yeah. I mean, I'd be like, no, you don't need a DNA sample. Guilty as charged on that one. That's me. Stevie76 says, how many did you have to drink? Just a couple? No. And a beer emoji. The beer emoji right there. But no, I didn't have any. I had beers to drink afterwards when I got home, when everyone was hanging out outside because it's a nice day. But before then, we were just going for the walk, so nothing like that. But it was nice. It was nice that because I don't know, if I were a state trooper, if I had to go to the trouble of turning on the lights and pulling you over, you're getting a ticket. I'm not doing that for a warning. So he didn't have to do that, and I recognize that, and I appreciate that. And when he left, he's like, you guys be safe out there. Make sure you remember the speed limit. Be careful out here. He's like, what are you doing out here? I was like, well, we live in a high rise in Chicago. We're my in-laws now. So the girls don't have to be around like a whole bunch of people. They have space and all that. He's like, oh, I see. All right. But he's like, be safe out there. And I was like, you be safe too, sir, out there. You be safe. So it was a positive experience. MC1796 asks, anyone ever get a cramp in their upper abdominal area while running hard? Felt almost as if my diaphragm muscle were spasming. I mean, it could be that your diaphragm muscles are spasming. I mean, kind of like running hiccups. Huh. I'm trying to think if I've ever had that. Yeah, Martha says it sounds like a digestive issue, possibly. I guess it could be. Yeah. Let's see. Jeff Ellie says like on the right side, just a usual cramp. Hmm. Yeah, I mean the way you described it didn't sound like a normal cramp kind of thing, but yeah, I'm not sure I've ever had that. Danny J asks, "You guys watch Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson? I'm basically an amateur astrophysicist now. Did you know that the colors we see are everything but the colors we see?" Yeah, I like watching Neil deGrasse Tyson. I remember, like, so TV shows that I used to watch back before I was married or had kids. F1 racing, ocean documentaries, which I still watch a lot of ocean documentaries, plus space documentaries. So I remember when there's Neil deGrasse Tyson, and then there's the Japanese guy. What's his name? I keep forgetting his name. But they used to be on all the documentaries, and it was before like Neil deGrasse Tyson and that Japanese guy. Also, like now he's like known not as a physicist so much, but he's known more as like a futurist, I guess. But like those two guys, I used to watch them all the time, and I just remember watching all those space and like those are the guys that taught me about string theory. Not that I really understand it, but they kind of tried to lay it out in a way that a normal person like me can understand. But yeah. All right. Yesterday we were talking about trying to find the VO2 max in the health app. Stevie says I got lost trying to find it in the health app, but I found a place to input sexual activity. Really? That's funny. Sorry, I'm getting like a weird buzzing sound here. Hold on, just a second. If you got headphones in, you might want to take a second. It's gonna get like crinkly. I'm still getting a weird buzzing sound. Sorry about that, guys. Really? Stevie 76? Interesting. I haven't looked. I haven't looked yet. I gotta find that VO2 max setting. Danny J talking about the cramps in the upper abdomen says, I get cramps in my upper abdomen a lot. That's because I have subluxated R pushing on my abdominal wall. It could be nutritional related or because your core muscles are too tight. Interesting. I've not had that. Martha says, I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. He has an interview on YouTube about the asteroid coming very close to Earth the eve of the election. He does? What? I mean, of course there's an asteroid coming the eve of the election. You know, for a long time, I don't know if you got, a long time ago, Chris Yao says, it's Michio Kaku. Yes. But a long time ago, one of the first live streams that we did, someone asked me if I believe in conspiracy theories, and normally I don't. But here like kind of two like completely unsubstantiated weird things that I kind of believe right now. One is that the Mayans were right, but it's not 2000, it was 2020. 2020 was the year that there was supposed to be the end of the Mayan calendar. They were just off by the other 20. That's one thing. So that would explain a lot for this year. Here's another completely unsubstantiated, absolutely not true, just something I made up while on my run today, conspiracy theory that I kind of believe is true. I think that when Donald Trump went to Walter Reed Hospital earlier in the year, and remember how he was like completely anti-mask, completely anti-going to any hospital, completely anti-everything. He went to Walter Reed with a mask on, with like a whole posse of people. I think that when he went there, he got some weird test vaccine against coronavirus. And then he felt like it worked. And that's why he was able to continue like saying like, it's not a big deal. We don't have to mask up. We don't have to social distance, because he knew he had a vaccine. And then the vaccine only attributed to him like not permanent, but transitional immunity. And it just kind of wear out. That's my other completely weird, not substantiated, just made it up in my head conspiracy theory that I've got going. And I feel like they had All right. Tried a couple of things. Yeah. Patrick Funk said, this is too good not putting this in the podcast. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, Chris says, Chris Tucker to Jackie Hands. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I love that scene in the movie. And I feel like I can probably get away with reenacting that scene, but like I know a lot of people would feel uncomfortable doing that. But I feel like that comes up so much trying to be a live streamer in 2020. But yeah, okay. So I unplugged everything, plugged everything back in. I think it's working. Junwan says I'm back, and Juan Garcia is having fun with it. Yeah. Yeah. Luis Becer says from now on, you use a code name for his name. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Here's the thing. I was thinking about like tweeting out that this was my like completely unsubstantiated new conspiracy theory on Twitter, but then I was worried like, am I going to get like a Twitter strike if I do that? Because then it's like I'm putting out stuff that is just patently false. But I don't know. That'd be pretty funny. But like I'm wondering, I don't remember the date of when he went to Walter Reed the first time with the mask. But don't they say that like if you have coronavirus, and then the Simon says codename ORANGE. That's a great code name. Or can we call him 750? I'm not sure what 750 would mean, but I don't know. Trumpet, fact check. Those all work. But I think that like I wonder, like they say that if you have coronavirus, that like you get antibodies, but it's not like chickenpox where like the antibodies stay with you for your entire life. It's transitory. It gives you like a certain window of immunity. Like, don't they say like 90 days is the like the lower end of what they think it could be? Like, I wonder. Oh yeah, Louis Becer says $750 hugely. Oh, I could see. But like I wonder if the original Walter Reed visit was like 90 days ago. I don't know. Martha says, I heard Twitter is eliminating extremist or suspicious material. If it's true, good for them. I don't have any of that stuff, just Strava and YouTube. Well, it's better for you, Martha. Like Twitter is a completely weird place. It's such a completely weird place. I like it, but I like it like junk food. Like I just go there to indulge in something that I know is not nutritious or good for me in any way. But occasionally there's good stuff. I have really good interactions with people on Twitter, and I love it for that. But for the most part, you're going there to like, all right, I want to feel like righteous indignation about something. So I go to Twitter. Like that's what Twitter is. And I just feel like that kind of like plays into all the like the bad stuff we hear about social media. But yeah. Christina Lopez says, I come up with a lot of ideas on my runs too that my husband called stoner thoughts. I don't do any drugs, LOL, but I think about some truly strange, crazy things. The long run especially, is where a lot of weird stuff happens mentally, and I think that's a great part about it. I feel like I like to think of it as like a kind of physical meditation. I know like meditation purists wouldn't think that running, especially if the way I do it, which is like with two different watches at the same time, a foot pod, a heart rate monitor, and earbuds listening to music. I'm sure like a meditation purist wouldn't call it that. But I think of it as like the long run when it's going well, it is a lot like a meditation to me, or almost like a dream state where just thoughts flow. They're just unimpeded in a different way that a lot of like normal consciousness thoughts are. And I particularly enjoy that.
There you go. All done.
Ed Bud says, how much did they reckon it cost to treat him if standard rates were used, like $100,000? Yeah, I don't know what the numbers would be. I mean, it's hard to price an unavailable test treatment, right? So like, I'm not sure. Martha says, antibodies might not show up, but you may retain T-cell memory, which stimulates new antibodies when you're re-challenged with the virus. Yeah, for sure. Like there's one thing of having like serum levels of antibodies, and another thing to be able to like have your T cells to be like, oh, I've seen that before, and then just fire up the mechanisms. That's true. Definitely true. Yeah. Danny J says, I gotta go. He's done. He says, the family and I going pumpkin picking. I guess I have to go with them. Yeah, you should. I mean, I don't know what the weather is like where you are, Danny, but I mean, here in the Midwest, it's fantastic. A great day for it. A great day for some family time. So have fun. Enjoy your family time. Chris Dyke says, my thoughts are just so much more detailed at the beginning of my long run. By the end, I'm just trying to put a sentence together. Well, sorry, pull up the mic. But I can relate to that too. I could definitely relate to that as well. Jeff Elliott says, just staying overnight in the hospital costs a lot. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if like now that people have seen like the Walter Reed like presidential hospital suite, I wonder if like the next time like someone like heavy hitter gets sick in the DC area, they're gonna be like, no, 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 no. I don't think you understand. I need to go to the presidential suite. Like I have a feeling like that's gonna happen. I don't know that they'll be allowed to, but like I feel like that's gonna be something that like now everyone, if they didn't know about it already, I didn't know about it, but if they didn't know about it already, like I feel like people are gonna be like, I want that. I need that. Adput says, I reckon he, in terms of like Agent Orange, I reckon he just had a couple of gels and a nice cup of tea, and he's all sorted. Can you imagine if the real thing was like, yeah, we told him we gave him Regeneron, but it was actually a couple of Martin gels. Can you imagine? Because like I don't know that guy that's his like he's like physician spokesperson, like something do that guy. Nothing wrong with doctors of osteopathy. It's something that I consider as a career path personally. So nothing wrong with that. But like that guy that's like just a like I don't know why they put him in front of cameras, but that guy, what if he was just like, we just gave him a couple of Martin gels, you know, we gave him a couple of Martin gels, and then when he was getting tired, we gave him a Martin calf, the calf 100, like we gave him that, and then like at night, the Martin 320 drink mix, and then the next day he was sorted. He was just low on sugar, guys. Can you imagine that? Brad Pierce says, any interest in Ironman or triathlon or staying with running only? Not so much Ironman, but I would really like to do a sprint triathlon because I've been doing some cycling since 2020 happened. And then I've been doing a lot of cycling out here in Iowa. I don't really swim all that well, but I feel like I'm into two of the three. So like if it's a short enough distance, I think I can like dip my toe into that water, so to speak. So I'd like to try that. And then we'll see how it goes from there. Triathlon training takes a long time. That's like my biggest concern about it. And not that I wouldn't want to do the training. My biggest concern that I would really want to do all the training. And then I'm like, that's going to be a big time commitment. So that's why I'm kind of like concerned about it. Martha says, don't you think Christy got the same super treatment too? He's obese and obviously high risk, but he's already apparently better. I was super concerned about Chris Christie, and I was checking like the news every day, trying to figure out if we could get updates. And I heard today he was released from the hospital, so I'm like, thank goodness for that. But like the guy is not a healthy guy, so like you would think that when he went from like the state stage to like the national stage, that he would have been like, all right, now's the time to clean things up a little bit in terms of like his image and overall health, but it seems to be going the other way, which I can understand. That highly stressful position, lots of weird long hours, lots of travel. You're not eating at home. You're not getting home cooked meals, that kind of thing. So like, I totally get that, but I was super concerned about that. I was super concerned, but I'm very happy to hear that he's doing better. And maybe he got Regeneron too. Everyone was like, as much as people didn't want to talk about how Agent Orange was getting or was doing like on a day-to-day basis or like any real specifics, people were super non-specific about what was happening with Chris Christie. And I was concerned about that. And I wanted to know. And I feel like there's a public, I'm not just like being a nosy person. Like, I just feel like that's information. And I feel like that's important from a public interest perspective. Yeah, Christopher Colangelo says remdesivir is priced at $3,100 for a course of treatment. That's a lot. Not a lot. Chris says CrossFit has a giant political wing behind it as well. Not sure if they're moving away from that since the owner had to sell after his racism stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if it would be good if CrossFit just was one of those companies that just doesn't make a statement on anything. I think that's what they should probably do for a while. Yeah, I don't know what their status is now. Mike Hall says, "Hey Mike, did you move out of Chi-Town permanently? Just curious." No, we didn't move out. We're just still here in Iowa with my in-laws. As long as Chicago Public School is virtual, we'll probably do that from here because it's easier to do that from here than it is in our high rise. So it's a. I'm sure like my in-laws are probably dying to know when we plan on moving out. My mother-in-law kind of brought it up today, but I'm not in a like a get out of here kind of way. But I don't think she was looking for a date, but I think she was just kind of like, what's the plan kind of thing. She didn't say that, and not in those words at all. And I might have been just reading into it completely wrong, but the topic kind of came up. Let's see. Ed Bud continuing to push his conspiracy theory that it's all about running nutrition snacks, and that's why Trump is feeling so good. And he's thinking the top of his jacket, Trump has a kind bar and some nuts. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, KCA just got a new bike from FedEx. Time to assemble. Cool. Oh, what? Stevie76 says Boris Johnson had to go back to the hospital. Is that true? Whoa. That is not. I don't know anything about that. That is crazy. If that's true, I think there's a whole. I mean, I don't know. For you guys over there, like Ed Bud, like I don't know. You've got like no deal Brexit potentially coming, and like whatever number wave you want to call, like the winter that's coming up. Like, that's going to be. I'm concerned about that. All right. Martha says, my brother, a doctor who makes me look like a dummy. Don't all doctors do that? Don't they? I'm sure he doesn't do it like maliciously or intentionally. My brother, and I'm sure he doesn't make you look like a dummy. My brother, a doctor who makes me look like a dummy, believes Regeneron is all that's keeping T from crumpling completely. That's not the monoclonal antibody, it's the S antibodies. Oh, it's an interesting concept. Yeah, I mean, it's a cure if we're supposed to believe the White House. Yeah. Yeah, and instead, Dunbar says, it's time to leave when she puts your suitcases in the hall. Yeah, I mean, if it comes to that, it'll be just my suitcases, but all the girls, their stuff will still be upstairs. That's how it works. But I think if that happens, you know what? I'll just go find a place to rent down in Guttenberg, and we'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Yeah, Bub Tub says, or did Kofuzi leave Chicago knowing the Mayan prediction of the asteroid hitting Chicago? I mean, that's really funny. It all fits. It all fits, doesn't it? Yeah. Chris Dyke says, picked up our pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow. Couldn't resist. I had to have a slice or two today. That's exactly what would happen if I were picking up pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving dinner. Well, I guess it's for tomorrow. You're having Thanksgiving early, but I would. Yeah, if there's a pie, I'm gonna eat it. There's no saving a pie. So you're having Thanksgiving tomorrow. Interesting. Chris, you're not Canadian, are you? Because isn't Canadian Thanksgiving like around this time of year? I know that in the Midwest here, a lot of families are having like Thanksgiving / Christmas celebrations, like right now, like in these weeks while it's still nice out, so they can like go to a park, like at New Wine. There are like big shelters or pavilions you can rent out that are like covered but outdoors that also have electricity. So like we've done a lot of family reunions there where you could just like there's electricity, so you can plug in a whole bunch of power strips. Everyone brings a crock pot, and it's a big potluck. So I know a lot of larger families are doing that kind of stuff now. So I don't know if it's that, or maybe it's Canadian Thanksgiving, or maybe it's a good old fashioned Chuseok celebration. Chuseok is the Korean like harvest festival. That's around this time of year too. Oh, CV76 says, "Oh, sorry, old news over the summer. Boris was discharged. I had to go back. Yeah, he did have to go to the hospital, and he did have to go back. I didn't know he had to go back. I didn't know that. That's news to me, though. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Chris Yes says the whole 2020 election eve asteroid story is just a metaphor for Trump. He is the asteroid. Re-elected equals the asteroid has hit us. Otherwise, we escape and you're missed. My wife asked me today, like, what I think, and I told her like months before. So like basically end of 2019, I was like, yeah, we could just get ready for another 4 years. And she asked me again today, and I was like, yeah, get ready for another 4 years. That's coming, guys. That's gonna happen. Um, and one of my friends, Britt in Chicago, that I ran the 2018 Chicago Marathon. She was one of the people that I trained with, like the Nike team with in 2018, not 2019, but 2018. And she posted something on our Instagram story the other day because like CNN had a poll of recently where like Biden was up like 57 to 41% over Trump in like a national poll, and like it was like the exact same date with Hillary and Trump, like the exact same numbers too. And I'm just like, yeah, it's gonna happen. So brace yourselves is all I could say. Martha says, but there is an asteroid that's coming close on November 2nd. However, it would burn up in our atmosphere like the one in Siberia a couple years ago. I hope it does. I hope it does. I really hope it does. Ed Bud says, it's looking like 3 sectioning of England in terms of restrictions here. The north is badly hit. It's not so bad in the southwest, and London cases are rising. And my wife and I were talking about that too, that like things in England are not looking great. We were all talking about what's going on in France. A lot of the cities in France are also experiencing or going to undergo increasing restrictions too. And it's just really unfortunate. And then Chris Dyke says, yes, sir, he is Canadian in Vancouver. Home of the W Network movies. Yes, that's where all those movies are filmed. It's a beautiful backdrop, by the way. It's a city that I want to do the, what is it? Is it the Sea Breeze half marathon? I want to do that one day because I just want to go to Vancouver. I guess I don't have to go to a race to do that, but like that'd be a fun way to combine the two. Yeah. Let's see. JP says Alan Lichtman predicts Biden, and he's been right since 1984. Oh, well, that's encouraging, I suppose. I mean, I really hope I'm wrong. Personally, I know there's a lot of people that feel other way. I see a lot of that here in this area, in this region. The number of flags has been increasing exponentially, and I'm trying not to like make the correlation that it seems to be in a lot of the places that I'm running in lately. But in a lot of places that I've been running in lately, I'm starting to see a lot more Trump flags. I'm just going to say it's just a coincidence, and then I'm going there, so I'm seeing them, but they would have been there anyway. That's how I'm going to leave it. But there's been a lot of, let's say, patriots showing their patriotism lately. Ed Bud says, I reckon a full lockdown again soon. I'm ready on my remote teaching sessions. We plan for a full remote. I think it's coming. I hope it's not. I know in the US they'll never do that. I mean, yeah, that's not going to happen in the US. I hope it doesn't have to happen in England. I'm really hoping. I thought I heard some stuff happening in Spain that they're thinking about it too. And I'm like, oh, well, I stopped doing the morning live streams on Instagram because the rationale was Spain's not locked down anymore. Italy's not locked down anymore. So like that morning live stream was for those time zones. And, if it comes to that, we'll do some morning live streams again. Because if everyone's locked down and we need to communicate, then we'll do it. But 2 live streams a day was a lot of work for me. Very selfishly, I gotta say. But also not selfishly. I hope it doesn't come to that. Yeah. Yeah, David Prabhu, great question. Seth's doing the Miami half January 31st. Are you planning on going? Right now, no. But my wife has been like joking, but more and more often lately about the concept of the 6 of us here, 4 people in my family, and my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, all renting an RV so we can drive to somewhere warm for the winter, rent a house that has a pool and a hot tub in it. And so she kind of like joked about it like in the middle of the summer. She's like, hey, this winter, you know what we should do? And then like now that it's getting colder and colder, she's joking about it, air quotes, more and more. And I was like, oh, well, maybe we'll do Orlando because there's probably a lot of rental homes in that area because it's close to Disney World, or that's where Disney World is, and all that. And then she told me the other day, yeah, but my mom said that's not warm enough for my dad because my father-in-law worked at John Deere for years, basically his entire career. He spent some years working in the foundry back before like OSHA was like a thing, and so like when the cold weather hits, it really affects his lungs. And so they were like, warm and hot is what works best for him. So like I was like, and they're like, and my wife said, and Orlando's just not hot enough. You'd have to be closer to Miami or something on the Gulf side. And I was like, oh, whoa. So they've had a conversation about this then. All right. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows what will happen? But like, personally, well, there's two scenarios. One is if we believe what the White House is saying and there's going to be a vaccine in a couple of weeks, I'll get the vaccine and I will go. I'll probably run the marathon that day, January 31st. But if we're going to believe the other thing that the White House said is that it probably wouldn't happen, the rollout wouldn't start happen till January, then I would try and get the vaccine and go. But if you believe the thing the CDC says that it wouldn't happen until like Q2 2021, I might go and film if I were in the Miami area. I don't really think that's going to happen, but my wife's been talking about it a lot. So I don't know. That seems like extreme, but I guess not so much more extreme than like leaving your home in Chicago and living in Iowa for 6 months. So, I don't know. I'm not going to say no to anything at this point. I'd love to do that. The other thing that I'd really want to do, and I know I won't, is there's that Ekiden that's happening. That like Brooks is in it, NAZ Elite. There's a whole bunch of different race teams that are competing in an Ekiden style race in Michigan. That's not that far from here, but it's kind of really far from here. And also, I'm not going anywhere near Michigan right now. That's the other thing. But like that's one that I would love to go film. But I don't know. Yeah, JC says, unfortunately, RVs don't go to Hawaii. I'd love to go to Hawaii. I've been telling my wife that like we need to figure out. Here's how the conversation goes. I tell my wife, we should figure out a time that we could take the girls on a vacation to Hawaii, and maybe I'll do a race so we can like combine the two things. And every time I say it, she's like, do it. So I'm like, now I'm really regretting that I didn't like take advantage of that when we could have. Paul Kane says, I'm driving from the north to London to sort out my work apartment tomorrow before we end up in lockdown again. Not stayed there since March. Whoa. Well, be safe, Paul. Be safe. Ed But says the trumpet vaccine is a bottle of Kool-Aid. I thought it was a picky bar. Yeah, Martha says I was going to say Michigan. Yikes! I wonder if they'll still have the Ekiden. I mean, I can't imagine that they wouldn't. But yeah. Yeah, and Ed But says Mike is going. I will email Emily about our Ekiden. Ed invited me to be on an Ekiden team that ASICS is putting on virtually with him and Andy, and I suggested we should get in Emily in there too. So we'll see. Martha says, Ed Bud, what do we call his counterpart in Moscow? Their vaccine is Samagon, which is homebrewed vodka. That's funny. We got trumpet and then Samagon. I guess that's what you could call it, maybe. I don't know. All right. Yeah. Oh, Andy's here. There we go. I'm doing well, sir. Hopefully doing well too. Here I'll end with this. One of the things that I was gonna do is I'll say I think both Ed Bud and Andy are looking great. If you like, one of the things I did recently, I was gonna make a video about it, but I was worried that people would thought I was being petty or like picking on people. But I was gonna make a video about people before lockdown and like today, like because like I mean, I look very different than how I looked before everything happened. And I was gonna like do a look at all the different running YouTubers, and I was like, Andy and Ed look amazing. They look great. And I was like, whoa, good work, fellas. Good work. As do a lot of other people, most other people. But the reason why it came up is because I was watching YouTube on Apple TV, and not my Apple TV, but my mother-in-law's Apple TV. And I'd logged in with myself, with my account. But for whatever reason, it was only showing me videos from like that were like 3 years old or older. And then it showed me like the people I was watching like 3 years ago. And one of the people it showed me was, what's his name? Zach Levitt. And I haven't really been watching him lately. But I was like, oh, I wonder what he's doing now. Because I remember the last time I thought about him, he was like, he's leaving college. I don't know if he was dropping out or if he graduated and just wasn't running anymore. But he wasn't running on his collegiate cross country team anymore. He was going to do more like full-time YouTubing. And I looked at him, and his latest video, he's got long, unkempt hair and a weird, terrible mustache going in. And I'm like, good work. Good work. So I've been thinking about you guys lately because you guys look great. And he said the newborn baby is taking its toll. I feel like you look great, and it's looking good on you. So glad to see you guys here. It was good to catch up with everyone here today. I really enjoyed today's time. Where did that? Yeah, let me take that off. I enjoyed today's time. Tomorrow's video is going to be the 100-mile review of the Ultra Superior 4.5. It's not all good. A lot of it's really good, but it's not all good. I'll talk about it in tomorrow's video. And then we'll do another live stream, 3 p.m. Central Time, same time as today, right back here. Hopefully, I'll see you guys again, and we'll have another good time. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.